Good day, everybody, and welcome to, I won't call it a one-a-day, and I guess I should call it a doc demo, and this is part 2, okay? Or should I say, because we're talking about the large intestine, should we call it number 2? Yes, and I'll tell you something, for a lot of people, number 2 is hard to have, isn't it, okay? Now, before we get into that, I just want to say this, okay? And you got to understand where I'm coming from, please. Please try to understand where I'm coming from. Did you know that everybody that is in higher places in government and everyone that's in higher places in the health field, okay, in the so-called health care, you know, they're all of them have been handpicked. And you've got to understand, they've been handpicked for about 150 years. Okay, because the AMA came in around the 1900s, right? And they were almost went bankrupt. I won't get into that, but if you want to learn about that, go read my medical mafia guide in my library, okay, at docofdetox.com. Now, you got to understand something. The first problem that we have, okay, is honoring and loving and respecting ourselves. And it's not because we don't want to, it's because we've never been programmed to do it. And then the other problem is that you've been programmed to actually kill yourself a little bit every day. So if you don't believe me, take a look at the way that you think, the way you judge yourself, the way you judge the world, the way you judge others, and that you actually will eat something or drink something or do something when you know it's not good for you. Now, why would you do that? If you totally loved and cared for yourself, you would not even have to think about it, because it would be a program. So the reality is that to actually create a love care, self-care program, you have to put your heart and soul into it. It has to mean everything to you. But when you don't mean everything to you, then you're never ever going to see this through. So the reality is we know that the majority of the population is going to opt for toxic behavior, toxic choices. And we also know that the people that are in the highest spots in government that are making our decisions are mindless drones. Mindless drones. They are. They want their pension plans. They want to be approved of. And you can tell right now that Dr. Wolfe does not care if anybody approves of him. And he doesn't take anything personal. So you could like me right now, don't like me, hate me, doesn't really matter. And if you hate me, then that means you're already running a hate program and you just need someone to trigger it for you. And I apologize if I did. But you might want to take a look at that, because understand something. It is the conflict that you have within inside you, the battle that you'll be battling forever until you love, care, and honor yourself. And understand something. They are trying to create shock and awe and trauma out there. Are they or aren't they? Okay? And understand something. The agenda, okay, is me trying to protect the Holy Grail, which is your large intestine. But the reality is that you can't do that until you love, honor, and care for yourself, and that you will always question authority. Oh yeah, question me. Go right ahead. Question me. Ask yourself, do I have the best intentions? Am I trying to teach you, train you to love yourself? What is my objective? What's Dr. Wolfe up to? What's his game? What's he trying to sell us? Understand something. Yeah, love is the answer. But guess what? It is the main vitamin in the world, vitamin L. But the problem is, vitamin L down here is toxic, okay? And the only way it won't remain toxic is if you create it for yourself, if you make it for yourself, if you fill up your own heart, because you're tearing your body apart. Let me show you something. Okay? I am going to talk about this topic until we drive this thing home, because you have never learned anything except through repetition. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me tell you something. To have cancer, you have to be running a hate, fear program for so long and so strong that you actually need a storage shed to put that in. And understand something. I will prove to you in my new article and my new masterclass that's coming out in 8 weeks to 10 weeks. Okay, it's called The Emotional Chemistry of Cancer and Disease, that everything starts in the mind before it happens in the body, right from a pimple to a tumor. Oh, and let me tell you, look at, isn't it great to have a show that you can actually have somebody come on and challenge me? And understand, if you want to challenge me, you want to come on my show, I'd love to debate you on anything that I'm doing or saying. My number is 855-900-4544, extension 5. Let's bring it on. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. Everybody out there is my brother and sister. And guess what? The suffering and the pain needs to stop, and it's unnecessary. And until we actually wake up from this coma that we're in, that we actually believe that the systems out there are built to protect us, we're going to be in big trouble. So let me tell you something. You ever say to yourself, I feel like my stomach's in knots? Okay, well, it's usually not your stomach. Okay, it's your intestines. That's right. You are tying your intestines in knots. And every time that you feel fear, trauma, worry, all of this, you know what you're doing? You're creating adhesions in your intestines. Your intestines, okay? Let me just show you here. Get rid of Mr. Rope. Okay, so now this here is what we would call the large intestine, and then we've got the small intestine, which is 22 feet that runs. It's all in the middle here, right? So you have like up here you have your stomach, then it goes to your small intestine, and then here it goes around like a racetrack, and then it hooks itself onto right where the ileocecal valve is, right here. And then it becomes the large intestine, which is 5 to 7 feet. Now, all of this in here looks like, you ever see a can of worms? Okay. You ever see the worms moving along? They can slide on each other because there's mucus, right? But it's a nice, healthy, slimy mucus, so they can slide on each other. But when it starts to dry out, the worms get stuck. And then when it dries out so much, they die and they get brittle. So same thing in here. You've got a 30-foot worm, and that's what it is. And even when you go to have a poop, okay, like, well, do you ever notice that if you wipe your bum, that then sometimes you have a second poop because that actually tickles the anus and it triggers it, and there's peristaltic action, and then a second one will come. Or when you're up here with your mouth and you swallow something, you start to chew, that triggers this peristaltic action all the way through, and that's why we'll find ourselves having a bowel movement. It could be even when you're young and healthy, you'll have a bowel movement about a half an hour to an hour after every meal. Okay, when you become an adult and you become adulterated, you have one poop a day usually. You go, wow, that's amazing. Well, understand, I have 2 to 3 every day, and I completely empty out that I feel strong but light in here. I don't feel bogged down. I don't feel like I've been backing it up forever, which, let me tell you something. It's very rare to find somebody that poops right, okay? Because guess what? Nobody poops right, so you think you poop right. Oh, how's your bowel movements? Oh, they're great. Okay, how often do you go? Well, and then when we start talking to somebody, we find out that, they're either little rabbit turds or they're thin ribbons or it's just big one hard chunk that falls into the toilet and cracks the bowl because it's so compacted, okay? We really don't know our poop, do we? We do not know the scoop on poop. But trust me, if you go and watch my How to Become Number 1 at the Art of Number 2, you'll get that thing, true blue. Let me tell you. Okay, so here's the deal. So remember all the intestines? I said it's got to, see, your intestines, they have to move. Like, see, when I move around, right? I move around, okay? There's no problems. But I'll tell you, you have a cesarean, okay? You have any type of surgery on your abdomen, or if you're bloated all the time, or if you feel heavy in here, you're creating infection. Believe it or not, let me just say this. 99.999999% of the population has an intestine like a screen door, meaning that it's like a screen door in a submarine, okay? So you're basically pooping into your body on a continually basis, because whenever you feel pain and suffering in your abdomen, that means that you have inflammation, which means that you have what? What does that mean? Well, that means that the one cell thick that's covering the lining of all your intestines is getting burnt out. And those tight junctions are opening up, and you're absorbing that waste. But here's the big problem. The more pain you have, the more inflammation you have. Inflammation's like a fire. And guess what that does? That takes that mucus that's on on the outer side, on the outer part of the intestines. So now your intestines can't move along smoothly and roll on top of each other. And that's why when you go this way and you feel, oh, I feel a pull. Oh, I feel in here. Oh, I feel there. And then it's also trapped gas, because most of you don't realize you got your own private manure pile. That's right. And guess what? You know how you keep thinking, oh, come on. Honey, are you coming? Yeah, I'm coming. I'll be there in a minute. Okay, so that's you trying to squeeze that last nugget out. Now, let me tell you something. That means you're pushing down on your diaphragm, which does what? What happens when you push down on your diaphragm for years? Okay? Oh, part of your stomach pops up through it, and now you've got a hiatal hernia, which we can reverse with Wolfe Non-Surgical. I can do it in about 5 minutes. Did you hear what I just said? Yeah. And then people say, oh my God, I got to live with this forever, or I got to get surgery. No, you don't. It's surgery this and surgery that. Now, have you had enough yet? Okay, what did we do before surgery was the latest, greatest breakthrough? And understand something. You'll pick the therapy that actually vibrates at the level you're at. So if you're running an unconscious, subconscious hate program for yourself and not thinking that the body heals itself and that you can reverse pretty well anything you create, then you're going to opt to have somebody take a knife to you. Yeah, go figure, eh? So anyway, so now this isn't going to move around very well, so it's going to get all caught up. Now you see this is the large intestine, and this is a healthy one. Guess what? Enjoy it, because it's the last time you're going to see this, because we don't actually have this in there. If you could see my intestine, even though I poop good, I feel young, I'm almost 65, I have no problem. Like this morning, I had 3 bowel movements, right? And now you're going, oh my God, what's wrong with him? I don't know. What's wrong with you? I'd say that one, wouldn't I? What's wrong with you? Because guess what? Do you know what rules today? Majority rules. Oh, wait a minute. Am I right or wrong? Yeah, 86% of the population has an autoimmune disease, 1, 2, or 3 of them. Yep. 85% of the population is overweight and obese. Holy crap. 85% of the population has pre-diabetes. How's that go? Right? But guess what? Today you're healthy if you're not in the hospital, right? I can say to somebody, so how you doing? And they go, I'm feeling really good. I'm really healthy. And I go, okay, so no problems? Oh, yeah, I've got diabetes, but it's not bothering me right now. Oh, really? Okay, got it. Okay. Or I've got arthritis. How are you doing? Oh, I'm healthy. Sometimes my arthritis acts up. See, the reality is we are getting comfortable in being uncomfortable, in being pain, in suffering, and they don't care. And you don't get it yet. You don't get it, but you do get it, but you don't get it enough. You got to understand that it's up to you, sweetheart. It's up to you. Unless you want to become your own practitioner, then you might as well kiss your butt goodbye, because you don't see what's going on out here. Okay, even the natural health practitioners don't know what natural health is. And I didn't say all of them. I'm just saying that we've all been programmed, and understand to break away from a program means you got to stand on your own. You got to stand in your power, and you got to go, I got this. 3, 2, 1, I got this. Where's your brave heart? So now let's move on. So here, let's take a look at the very thing that people are suffering from, colitis. But do you notice something? If I said to a person, so what's colitis? Well, I don't know. I know it's causing me pain. What is colitis? Did your doctor tell you what colitis is? No, he just said I had it. And then he gave me this prescription. Well, colitis is chronic constipation. Okay, wherever you see an itis, that just means inflammation. So it means colon inflammation. Oh my God, I've got colitis. I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe you could try to poo. Maybe you could stop having inflammatory thoughts and really starting to empower yourself. Maybe you could stop eating inflammatory foods. Okay, maybe you could just start focusing on creating the perfect day on an emotional and physical level, and then start doing what we call pelvic squats, doing pelvic enhancer, belly button therapy. Learn how to do clapping. Okay, learn how to connect to your breath. Learn how to start changing your personality so you can have a different reality. That might be okay too, eh? So understand something. We got this. And I'm here for you. And you got to understand that. If anything that I say seems like I'm making fun of someone or putting someone down, I'm not. This is how I got to try to work to try to break into your subconscious, because your subconscious is always saying, hey, listen, I know you're suffering, but guess what? You're not dead yet. This self-love, self-care thing, I don't know what it is. And you might just die if you try it. Yeah, well, let me tell you something. You better get into it, okay? This is about loving yourself, okay? It's always about loving and caring for yourself, becoming the light for your family. So colitis is chronic constipation. And it's where the poop inside of you, okay, because we've got your small intestine, there's your ileocecal valve, there's your appendix right here. And the cecum, this is a really good spot to grow tumors, to have worms collect, okay? But the problem is with a lot of people, because of their glicky, sticky diet, the valve gets stuck and the poop can actually get back into the small intestine, and we call that SIBO, right? Small intestine bacterial overgrowth, because now you're pooping back into your small intestine. So that ileocecal valve has got to stay closed. And if you've had an appendix operation, just know this, sweetheart, that you're going to have scar tissue here, and that scar tissue can actually keep this open, all right? Big problems, okay? So we want to have that not open. So what happens is the foodstuffs you eat go stomach, your stomach takes care of it, goes into small intestine, 22 feet about, then comes here, and then we're going to start going into the large intestine. And when it comes here, we want to make sure that we've got enough tone that it can climb up the mountain, come across, come down and around, and then out. The problem is you didn't drink enough water. You didn't drink structured water. Structured water is the lowest surface tension in the world. Take a look at our structure units underwater on my website. You get a 90-day money-back guarantee, and the reality is it's the cheapest water system in the world, and it creates the best water in the world. Kangen can't even create structured water. It does create good water, but those units are really expensive. And structured water, you can carry a portable with you anywhere around the world. Never breaks down, never wears out, and doesn't take electricity. So the reality is that you got to get on a whole plant-based diet, because anybody who's got colitis, they haven't eaten enough whole plant-based foods. They're not drinking enough water, okay? And they're eating too many glicky, sticky, inflammatory foods. What? Sugar, flour, dairy, okay? And even animal products. If you're going to eat animal products, think about it. It's all about vibration. You know, keep it down as much as possible. Make sure that you chew the animal protein so much that it's a liquid. You know, in concentration camps, the people that actually made it through the concentration camps and were the healthiest, they would put their food in their mouth and put their head forward and chew it. And they would chew it until it dissolved in their mouth. That's right. Even if it was a piece of meat, no matter what it was, it dissolved. Because the smaller the particle, the more you're going to absorb it into your system. And it's, like I said, it's all about vibration. And you can only digest the outer surface. But what if it was broken down into particles that you couldn't even tell anymore? Well, that means that you are going to absorb it all. And that's why I eat only one meal a day now. I'll have a blender drink, and I'll drink water. I've already done 2.5 quarts of water with tummy love in it, with ionic calcium in it, with some super cinnamon in it. I already did that this morning. That's all I've had. How am I doing? Is my energy level okay? All right. So the reality is, okay, is that sometimes less is more. Okay. And water has hydrogen in it that gives you energy. And most of the time when you need energy, it's because you need water, and you need to connect to your breath. And you need to put a slight smile on your face. And you need to say, I love you, Darrell. Well, you don't need to say, I love you, Darrell. Say your own name, okay? All right? Love is a self-serve job, and I'm doing that for myself, okay? So now, what happens is the poop gets caught, and it usually gets caught on the descending part of your large intestine. And what happens when it does that is if it gets caught, remember, it's poop, okay? And the longer it stagnates and it gets stuck, the more that it putrefies, and the more that it putrefies, the good bacteria turn into bad bacteria, and they give off what's called endotoxin that then irritates the lining, and that creates the inflammation. And now the mucus part is now taken away, because inflammation is like a fire, so you dry up the mucous membrane, okay, and then eventually the fire tears that one cell protection apart. So now what we've got is we're pooping into our pelvis, because right here, what are you going to tell me that that's not being absorbed into the abdomen? And then with gravity, your pelvis, which is down here, there's like a soup bowl, is filling up with waste. Oh, here it is. So I'll be showing this a few times. So here's the pelvis. It's a soup bowl. What are you filling the soup bowl with? Okay. Does it have tons of energy? free flow circulation, or do you have constipation and you're pooping into it? Okay, understand. I'm going to go through this, not today, but every condition that's in your abdomen, that's in your pelvis, even, guess what? The rotting of your hips. Yeah, that's right. That's why you have to have a hip replacement. That's why you got to have a knee replacement, because you were pooping in your pelvis. And I'll prove that. Okay, this series, I don't know how long it's going to go. God knows, with my big mouth. But the reality is, this may go until this Tuesday. It might go to Friday. It might go Monday and Tuesday. But I'm not going to finish it until I feel like I finished it. Okay, all right? We're in for the long haul here, okay? All right, so we know that colitis just means inflammation of the colon, okay? It's not anything technical. It's just like arthritis means inflammation of the joint. Sinusitis means inflammation of the sinus. Go figure. But if we give them all technical names, just like if we give drugs names that you can't even mention, well, you know why you can't mention them? You can't even pronounce the drug names? It's because you're that stupid. That's right. You're so stupid, you don't even know that you got constipation that caused colitis. And you're not stupid at all. What they do is they try to make you feel dumb. They try to make themselves superior. Understand something. There is not a layperson out there, okay, that cannot become their own practitioner, that cannot heal themselves. Everybody can. And that's the bottom line. You know what? Your beliefs make and shape you. And if you believe that you're unworthy, if you believe you're dumb, if you believe you're stupid, if you believe you need to go to school for 10 years, then guess what? Then that's what you're going to get. And the reality is this. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. Okay, here it is. In 22 days, I can make somebody into a more powerful practitioner than if they went to school for 10 years. Because that person who went to school for 10 years is institutionalized. The one that came to me for 22 days is going to know how to go out there and do a proper consultation emotionally and physically and help that person. And why do we give a money back guarantee? Because we want to prove to the world that, guess what? There's a genius inside everyone. There's a practitioner inside everyone. And until we decide to stand in our power, we're powerless. Okay, so we got normal colon, we got colitis. How long have we been talking there, my friend?
Oh, it's about 9:18. We do have a Q&A coming up, so if people want to ask.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so you know what? We're going to end off right here today at colitis, okay? All right? So if you got colitis, just understand something. You might want to calm down. Because every time that you run any fear, any doubt, any worry, and don't stay connected to your lion heart breathing, slight smile on your face, 3, 2, 1, I got this. You need to learn to do my Braveheart 4 pillars. Go to my library and check that out. But every time you upset yourself, what do you think is going to go on fire? Your weakest link. We'll talk more, and I'll start with colitis tomorrow, and we'll work our way around here. And then we're going to work our way and talk about all the things and the domino effect of your large intestine. We could be here for a while, okay? But this is enough for you to chew on, okay? And make sure you do chew your food today and chew your food to a liquid. So what you want to do is drink your solids and chew your liquids. And you never want to eat when you're upset. And you never want to eat when you're tired. So please, if you're tired, drink a bunch of water, go lay down for a half an hour, allow your system to calm down, and then you can come back and eat. And if you decide to eat, you better you better eat things that are easy to digest. Okay, you better learn how to food combine. And we're going to get into all of this. This is all we're going to do for maybe the next 2 weeks. Who knows? All right, the reality is I need all of my brothers and sisters to know how to look after their God-given beautiful body. And you do have a beautiful body. And no matter what you're suffering from today, it's not a disease. Okay? Cancer is not a death sentence. An autoimmune disease means that you are attacking yourself. You need to get that. You will attack yourself until you know how to love yourself and care for yourself. And you know what? That is my job to try to do a good job of this, all right? Because we need to come together. It's teamwork that makes the dream work. And human beings need to come together. Don't forget, today is Hug Day. Hug everybody that you know that will hug you back. I just made it up. But guess what? I made up everything, didn't I? And you know what? God said, you go and create, and you make up whatever you want, and whatever you focus on, I'll give you more of that. What are you focusing on today? I hope it's self-love and self-care and becoming the life for your family. We will be doing a Q&A around 10 o'clock. Guess what? I can't seem to stay on time lately. I've got so much going on. I was up this morning and at work at 5. I did a consultation for a lady outside of Africa with breast cancer. I did another consultation in Australia. Okay, and I did another consultation for somebody in Israel. So understand something. Doesn't matter where you are around the world, I love you. It doesn't matter where you are around the world, we do consultations by phone or by Skype. And this is not a pitch. I charge $150 and you never have to pay again. And we are dedicated to you to make sure that we create the perfect day for you for the perfect life. And as you change, we'll help you change. But if you want different in your life, you need to become different, which means you need to change the personality that you have because it's not yours. The true personality that you actually are is the one that you totally love yourself unconditionally. Have a beautiful day. Hope to see you at 10 a.m. Not 10 a.m., but yeah, 10 a.m. today. And then I'll be back here tomorrow around the same time to do the ball boogie. You have a beautiful day. You are the power you seek. How would it feel to you? Better still, how would it change your life to be certified in the most powerful training in regards to the emotional and physical body? Whether you're coming to us to enhance your clinic, or for personal growth, or finally, to live your passion and purpose as a natural health practitioner, you are only limited by your beliefs, but that ends today. We will be holding this New World Practitioner certification in the amazing Casa del Agua facility, 15 minutes from Playa del Carmen in the beautiful Mayan Riviera of Mexico. Can't wait to see your smiling face.
Sage is by far the best teacher I have ever touched base with. I've done a lot of courses out there, a lot of programs, a lot of emotional work, mystery skills, but this really touches, it kind of bridges the emotion and the physical component together.
He's fun and he's thorough, and he doesn't, he's making sure that you know the techniques. And so when we walk away from this particular course, and we walk away, we feel confident, and he has given us that confidence.
I took my Touch for Health training in probably about 20 years ago. I also incorporate that into my practice, but it doesn't deal with the crystallization, inflammation, and calcification. So that's why I said that this is kind of the missing puzzle piece that I needed to help people get to their optimal health.
That's the moment where you leave and you become a complete professional in what you do and in your business. You leave with the ability to be a total professional at what you do.
You can deal with the emotions and let that go. Two, I can deal with the physical. But what we're doing with this non-surgical is you're combining the emotion and physical together.
And this is the component that now I can help others. And now I'm here, and I am trained, and I am certified, and I can take this, and I can help you.
Something about this spoke to me so true. The mind-body connection and being energy beings. It's profound, and I want to share it with others so that they can have the tools to feel this love and heal themselves.
And you as a practitioner or a doctor will be that guide to help see them transform and help support them through their conflict resolution, I call it, or making peace with things that have been unresolved.
Give me a call. This is your time to shine. Just remember, all questions matter because your life matters. You matter. If you're looking for life-saving and life-changing information, well, you've come to the right place. Don't forget to click and subscribe. Stay connected.